Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Evan Schmeiser, everybody. The Lefties are back in town. As we head to the top of the third inning, I'm Evan Schmeiser. We apologize for any inconvenience, everybody. Some technical difficulties trying to get things up and running, out of our control whatsoever. But we are up now. I know we're up for sure on YouTube. So anyway, let me catch you guys up. It's a scoreless ball game as we go to the top of the third. Each side has only had one hit. The Lefties have had a couple base runners, a base runner in each of the first two innings, leaving men over at third. Colby Schuber has the start today. And again, he's been scoreless over the first two innings. His seventh game of the season, his sixth start. He's gone 31 total innings this summer, 20 strikeouts, 12 walks out of Grays Harbor College. So the batters, it'll be the number 9 hitter, Brett Ott, to start the third. We'll take a look at the rest of the lineup. Kelly Quarles is the leadoff man. Johnny McGill's the second batter. Tommy Takayoshi's the third man. Noah Bowden is the cleanup guy. As Ott shows bunt, it's all the third base side. Julio Vasquez picks up. It's a wide throw. It gets past Owen Alsop. It's backed up nicely, though, by Roberto Nunez. So we'll see how that one's scored. Brett Ott aboard to start the third. He stays at first in a scoreless ball game. See if that one's going to be scored a base hit or not. So it brings up the leadoff man, Kelly Coral. He struck out to open the first. The Lefties will set up to turn two. A scoreless game in the third. As the first pitch misses up high. Two teams coming in identical 12-30 records. Both in the Northern Division of the West Coast League, as that one's hit pretty well with the runner taking off from first. Back goes Mayer at the wall, and that one's going to be gone. A long home run over the left field wall from Coral, who was a late addition to the lineup. The birthday boy, Skylar Chang, was a late scratch due to an injury. So it's now 2-0 Riverhawks. And they'll bring up Johnny McGill. He flew out to left, his only at bat, coming in the first. As he settles in, we'll take a look at the Lefties defensively. Julio Vasquez at third, Isaiah Walls in this familiar spot at shortstop, Roberto Nunez the third, the same way at second base. Owen Alsop with the start at first, Chase Taylor behind the plate, Brock Mayer in left, Kyle Becker's in center, Chance Daly in right, and Schuber out of the windup delivers high. The Lefties wearing their full-on white pinstripes with the Lefties logo on the chest. The Edmonton Riverhawks going with the navy blue tops as that curveball's in there for a strike and the gray pants. Schuber out of the windup, his 1-1. Out in front of a changeup is McGill. So Schuber looking to pick up his second strikeout, trying to bounce back from the 2-run homer from Coral. The 1-2 with no outs in the third is outside. Riverhawks come into play having only won a single series all summer. And McGill out in front of a changeup. Second strikeout of the evening for Schuber. So they'll bring up Tommy Takayoshi. Had an infield hit his only at bat in the first. So now 1 out in the third, 2-0 Riverhawks over the Lefties. Lefties come into play having been swept in 3 games in their previous series up north in Kelowna. First pitch swung on and fouled straight back. Lefties and Riverhawks, pretty similar as far as offensive statistical categories are concerned. Pretty much ranked between 11th and 13th. That one swung on and missed. 0-2 the count. Things like batting average, on-base percentage, slugging, OPS. Pretty similar in that regard. Schuber, the new baseball, on top of the mound. The 0-2 with 1 out. That one's off the end of that, flared in the left field. That'll get in for a hit. The second hit of the inning now for the Riverhawks. And a 1-out base runner brings up Noah Bowden. Bowden, the rising junior out of Dallas Baptist University. Well, he's listed at 6'6". Yeah, he looks it from here as he settles into the left-handed batter's box. First pitch taken outside. Bowden had a base hit to right, his only at bat. One of already 5 hits for Edmonton. Lefties set up to turn 2. A breaking ball on the outside corner. Schuber's been a guy all summer where very difficult to tell what the inning is or how he's actually doing on the mound. Very even keel. That one's off the end of the bat, fouled out of play to the left side and into the parking lot. So 1-2 the count now to Noah Bowden. Tommy Takayoshi on first. Brett Ott started the inning with a base hit. Then Kelly Coral fouled it up with a 2-run homer. So 2-0. That one's in the dirt. Gets away from Taylor for a moment. Takayoshi tries to get to second. He is able to get in there ahead of the throw. So Tommy advances on the wild pitch. 2-2 the count to Noah Bowden. Very thick clouds all day long at Civic Field. The sun did start to pop out. It's actually looking like some pretty nice blue skies behind us. Looking out to the foothills of Olympic National Park in right center. Well, the clouds are still covering it pretty good. You could almost say a fog, as that's down and in. 3-2 the count. Some on and off rain. Really good job from the grounds crew here to get the field ready, because it is pretty superb. It's a good-looking field, good condition. The 3-2 from Schuber, swung on and missed. Bowden goes down swinging. Third strikeout of the evening for Schuber. That'll bring up Mark Osana. He bounced out to third, his only at bat in the first inning. Osana, the rising sophomore out of Minot State University. Oh, that's a long way to go from growing up in Chandler, Arizona, and then go to school in North Dakota. Big swing and a miss at a breaking ball. Osana behind 0-1. Takayoshi still looms at second, reaching on the singling earlier and then advancing on the wild pitch. Schuber takes one look back at the runner. He deals. Out in front again at a breaking ball. Evan Overmars waits on deck. A long look in this time from Schuber. Now he comes set. And here's the 0-2. That breaking ball's in there for a called strike 3. So Schuber picks up 3 punch-outs in the top of the third inning. The damage has been done, though. The 2-run shot from Kelly Coral to open the scoring. 2-0 Riverhawks over the Lefties. We'll be right back for the bottom of the third. So we're going to come back a bit early for the bottom of the third inning. 2-0 Riverhawks over the Lefties. Chance to introduce the Riverhawks pitcher. So Matthew Ridsdale in his third inning of work. And boy, he's been good all summer. Comes into play with a 145 earned run average. He has a few other teammates who are among the league leaders in earned running average, including one of his teammates who actually leading the league. Only his 12th game, so not enough time on the mound to actually qualify in that category. 24 2/3 innings, 19 strikeouts, only 10 walks. Well, if you're able to keep the walks down, that'll surely help. It's only the second game he started all summer. His last outing coming 5 days ago against Ridgefield. He went 3 2/3. Only allowed 1 hit and no runs. No walks either. The only base hit that Ridsdale's allowed came to lead off the game, the walls. Lefties really haven't made hard contact since. The only other base runner came on a hit batter to Brock Mayer. So the ninth man, Kyle Becker, will settle in. A lefty-on-lefty matchup. Ridsdale working out the stretch, and the first pitch is a breaking ball in there for a strike. We'll take a look at the rest of the lefties lineup. Becker's followed by Isaiah Walls in the leadoff spot, then Trent Jackson back in the order. Roberto Nunez hits third, Chase Taylor batting fourth, Brock Mayer in the fifth spot, Chance Dowdy hits sixth, as that one skied in the air to right. It's not deep. Brett Ott comes running in. Noah Bodden out there as well, and it's Ott who makes the call in the catch near the second base position. So one away in the third. It'll bring up Walls, who's 1 for 1. Mayer's followed by Chance Dowdy hitting 6th. Owen Alsa gets the start at first. He bats 7th. Julio Vasquez in his familiar spot at this point, playing third base, hits 8th. And, of course, Kyle Becker is in the 9th position, who just flew out. First pitch to Walls is on the outside corner for a strike. Isaiah, the incoming freshman at Concordia University in Irvine, California. 1 for 10 in the series in Kelowna. Breaking ball in there for a called strike 2. Lefties only have a combined 7 hits coming off of the previous 2 games in Kelowna. That one's way upstairs, 1-2 the count. Yeah, lefties only had 7 hits. They averaged 11 strikeouts in each of the 3 games against the Falcons in the sweep. Upstairs to Walls, 2-2 the count. Also, despite the records, lefties have some work cut out for them, trailing 2-0 to Edmonton. Breaking ball outside, 3-2 the count, and frankly, the Riverhawks have some pitchers in their bullpen who have been tough. And just through the starting rotation. And a guy in Ridsdale who just doesn't walk a whole lot of people. The 3-2 with 1 out. That's right on the inside corner for a called strike 3. Walls knew it as he walks back to the dugout. Second strikeout of the evening for Ridsdale. It'll bring up Trent Jackson. Number 5. Jackson, the rising junior out of Hawaii Hilo University. He missed the past 7 games dealing with shin splints. That one's off the hand, slowly up the third base line. Overmars charges, throws on the run, and he's able to get Jackson, who again not running extremely well, dealing with the shin splints. So a 1-2-3 inning for Matthew Ridsdale. We'll keep it right here just a moment longer to have a chance to introduce the Riverhawks fielders. So it was Evan Overmars who made the play at third, Kelly Coral is the shortstop, Noah Bowden's at second, Marco San is the first baseman, Tommy Takayoshi the starter behind the plate. Johnny McGill's in left field, Daniel Calabrese is the center fielder, Brett Ott in right, and of course Matthew Ridsdale, who just worked a 1-2-3 third inning. We'll be right back for the top of the fourth. Schuber getting back to work. 2-0 Riverhawks over the Lefties. It'll be Evan Overmars, Jacob Paternak, and Daniel Calabrese. 6, 7, 8 for the Riverhawks order as they bat, leading 2-0 the top of the fourth. Schuber back to work. And the first pitch is ripped in the left center field. Mayer on the run, and he's able to make the nice running grab. Boy, that was one heck of an athletic play from Mayer. I didn't think he had any chance to get that one at first, the way it was hit on the line. Definitely saved extra bases. Schuber will appreciate it. So it brings up Padernak. He flew out to Mayer and left his only at bat. See if Schubert can settle his way back in. First pitch is swinging on the ground. Flag down by Vasquez at third. A good strong throw across the diamond. That's a good way to try and settle back into a groove after allowing the 2-run homer. Getting hit around a little bit in the third. 3 of the 5 hits already for the Riverhawks coming in that 2-run third inning. Daniel Calabrese lined out sharply to center field on a diving play from Kyle Becker. He shows bunt. It's up the third base line. It'll go foul. Goodness, all sorts of good stuff to catch you guys up on. I was able to catch a Mariners game for the first time during the weekend. First time I'd been to the ballpark. In the dirt, 1-1. Oh, it's not Safeco Field anymore. T-Mobile Park. Thanks, guys. So 1-1 with 2 outs. That one's hit sharply. A diving attempt from Walls. It gets past him in the left field. So the 6th hit of the evening, a 2-out base runner now with Calabrese for the Riverhawks. I was able to catch the Friday night game for the Mariners against the Blue Jays. Goodness, there were a lot of Blue Jays fans in the house there. I didn't realize that the Toronto fans for baseball extended all the way out to British Columbia. Kind of figured they'd all be Mariners fans up there. Not the case. Felt like a neutral site game. As Brett Ott, who singled his first time, eventually came around to score on the Kelly Coral homer. And there goes Calabrese. The pitch taken low. Throw down to second. Beautiful throw from Taylor behind the plate right into the base path. As easy as that for Walls to apply the tag.
Let's see those dancing shoes, Lefties fans.
Now, Colby Schubert able to face the minimum in the 4th. 1 hit. Calabrese erased on the throw out from Chase Taylor. We'll be right back for the bottom of the 4th. 2-0 Riverhawks. Well, I'll come back a little bit early to finish talking about the Mariners game. So Seattle was able to walk it off 3-2 in the bottom of the 9th on Friday. A back and forth game. Well, the Blue Jays led most of the way. Then the Mariners chipping away. Eventually were able to tie it and win it in the 9th. Good atmosphere. I've never been to a ballpark, at least a major league ballpark, where so much noise was pumped in from music or sound effects. Much different than all the Phillies games I went to growing up and even the Yankees games. It was nice. It was a good experience. I would definitely go back. It was good to get that ballpark out of the way on the bucket list. Roberto Nunez will dig in. He bounced out to second base, his only at bat. Lefties trailing 2-0, trying to snap a 3-game losing streak. He takes a first pitch strike on the inside corner. We've seen Matthew Ridsdale, who's working his 4th inning, locate a couple good fastballs on the inner half. Nunez was 3 for 12 in the Kelowna series. As Ridsdale comes set and deals out the stretch. That one's lined foul down the right field line into the grandstands. Nunez now behind 0-2. Nunez has had 2 hits in 3 of his last 5 games. Granted, I mentioned it almost a week ago. Tito's gone 20 consecutive games without an extra base hit. The last one came June 25th. A high bounce to the left side of the infield. That's going to be off the glove of the shortstop, Kelly Coral. Nunez will be safe at first. Well, let's see how that one scored. It would have been a tough play no matter what for Coral to throw him out. Well, it's going to go down as a base hit. That's one of those where it could have gone either way. Nunez has average speed, but that was a really high bouncer and a difficult play trying to get on the shortstop for Coral. Taylor takes a curveball just upstairs. Chase Taylor, who was able to catch Daniel Calabrese stealing to end the fourth inning. Chase went 0 for 12 in the three-game series against the Falcons. Long hold from Risdale, and now he deals. That's right down the middle for a strike. Nunez very much a threat to run. He's stolen 10 bags this season. Not the fastest guy by any means, but he picks his spots very wisely. He has a good lead off of first. 1-1 breaking balls hit foul. Look out by the Riverhawks dugout. Pretty good play from Earl Smith in the third base coach's box. Got it on the glove side, and he stuck it right in his back pocket. Taylor steps out for a moment. Now he'll dig back in. Behind 1-2. Riverhawks looking to turn 2. And that pitch is skied out of play down the right field line on the race street. Well, we also have a whole lot of kids from the Port Angeles and Squim Boys and Girls Clubs in the house tonight. As the Lefties were taking the field, getting introduced tonight, each player must have had at least 5 or 6 kids running out with them. That one's taken up high. Nunez started and stopped. 2-2 the count now to Taylor. 2-0 Riverhawks leading the Lefties. Second baseman Noah Bowden playing over towards the second base bag. Playing Taylor the pull. I want to throw over to Nunez. He dives back just ahead of the tag. Well, the first baseman, Marco Sana, the way he reacted, I think he thought he got Nunez. Nah, Roberto was safe. Even I could see that from way back here. It's a pretty good move. That's one of those lefty moves as a position player where I go, of course he balked. Another throw over. It's all about seeing that 45-degree angle. That move a little quicker, a little less deceptive that time from Ridsdale. Well, now he comes set. Taylor awaiting the 2-2. Here it is, the curveball that's way outside. Good at bat from Chase, working it back, 3-2 the count. Nunez comes into play, tied for 6th in the league in stolen bases with those 10. He does not go. The 3-2 is fouled straight back. Right off one of the poles on the chain link fence. That's one of those emergency hacks from Taylor. Just trying to get a piece of it and live to see another pitch. A shakeoff from Ridsdale. Nunez inches off of first. He did not go the previous 3-2 pitch. Once again, he doesn't go, and that one's popped up. Right side of the infield, Marco Sana comes in along the first base line, and he makes the one-handed grab in fair territory. So Taylor retired. The mini slump from Chase continues. And that brings up Mayer.
Number 28, left fielder.
So Friday night was the only game where Brock got to hit in the Kelowna series. He went 1 for 3. Brock has hit safely in 5 of his last 6 coming into play. His batting average all of a sudden climbing up to .313. He shows bunt. He offers at it. It kicks off the glove of Takayoshi behind the plate. No advance. Oh. Field umpire said Mayer pulled back on that one. We'll take it. It was a very late pullback from Brock. Yeah, Brock's another one of those guys where when he's had his at-bats, he's really picked it up as a late. Shows bunt again, and he bunts it foul over to the right side. He got a curveball that time from Ridsdale. And Mayer clearly trying to bunt for a hit. You can see him, well, I'm able to see him up here, kind of taking off from the right-handed batter's box. Much tougher to bunt a curveball if you're going for a hit. If you're sacrificing, then a curveball is easy to bunt. Check swing at a curveball, and Mayer takes. Brock did not show bunt that time. Took me by surprise seeing him squaring with 1 out, especially how good he swung the bat. Granted, Ridsdale's been tough. Here's a 2-1. Mayer bunts as Nunez took off. It's fielded by Ridsdale, and he's able to toss it underhand to first base. Looked like Mayer was almost trying to get it past the pitcher, Ridsdale, towards the second base position and go for a hit. So Nunez up to second. Mayer retired. Well, that brings up Chance Doughty. Chance was 1 for 12 over the weekend. 2-out RBI opportunity for him. Lefties trail 2-0 in the fourth. Ridsdale's deals. That one's at the knees for a called strike. Chance did hit his first home run in the Lefties uniform on Friday. Ridsdale slowing his pace down now with Nunez at second. Checks him once. Shrugs his shoulders, checks him again. Here's the 0-1. It's a breaking ball, hammered, fouled on the left field line and out of play. Well, it's a good thing for Ridsdale that he got it in as far as he did on Doughty, because Chance had that one lined up. So 0-2 the count, 2 outs. Nunez looms at second as the sun continues to peek out. Now the shadow's noticeable in the field. The 0-2, and Doughty foul tips that one into the glove of Takayoshi. Fooled on that breaking ball, a half swing. So lefties get another man in scoring position. The third time they've had somebody over there. Ridsdale able to work out of the jam. Still 2-0 Riverhawks leading the lefties this first of the 3-game series. Colby Schuber getting back to work. As we get ready for the top of the fifth, this inning is brought to you by Leets. Leets Farm Supply and Equipment Sales is the Peninsula's premier family-owned farm supply and equipment dealership, where we service what we sell. Shop local, support local. Shop Leets Farm Supply. So it'll be Brett Ottspot, then followed by the leadoff man Kelly Coral to start the fifth. Now Schuber is already on the mound, ready to go, as Ott is just walking into the left-handed batter's box as we speak. Well, now he steps out. Really getting a little bit of latitude now. It is a 20-second action clock. So now everybody's ready to go. Schuber out of the windup. First pitch swinging. Good play on the backhand from Alsup at first. He takes it to the bag himself. Man, that was excellent. That was one of those Olay jobs over there. Balls it so sharply, nowhere near enough time for Alsup to even try and slide his chest over the block it. So now it's Kelly Coral. Solo home run, or two-run homer for him in the third. He's been the difference tonight. So that's where we stand 2-0. Now he shows bunt, and it's foul up the third base line. Oh, the homer earlier, and now you try to get on with a bunt hit. God, I love college baseball, the amount of small ball. So Coral walks back behind 0-1, 1 out in the fifth. Schuber able to face the minimum in the fourth, looking for similar success. That one is ripped right into the glove of the leaping Julio Vasquez at third. Well, 2 missiles to start the fifth inning for Edmonton. Lefties defense has something else to say about it.
Number 10, Johnny Miguel.
Well, I've talked a lot about the lefties' defense as the second man, Johnny McGill, digs in. 2 outs, nobody on in the fifth. Check swing and a changeup, he holds up. Lefties' defense has been better over most of the past week. especially making some good highlight plays. Nunez playing deep at the second base spot, as he usually does with left-handed batters. That one's on the ground. Alsop from a knee. They'll flip over to Colby Schuber covering. So 1-2-3 inning for Schuber in the fifth. 3-1 on that putout. Schuber seems to be settling in. Still 2-0 Riverhawks. See if the lefties can push something across in their half of the fifth. So Rizdale just finishing up his warm-up pitches going to the bottom of the fifth. He and his Riverhawks leading the lefties 2-0 in the first of this three-game set. Both teams coming into play 12 and 30. It'll be Owen Alsop, Julio Vasquez, and Kyle Becker. 7, 8, 9 for the lefties. Well, now it seems the little bit of cloud cover has come back. The entire field now engulfed in clouds. Humid day out here. Oh, so looks like a pinch hitter's coming up. That's interesting. Ethan Young grabbing a bat, hitting in Owen Alsop's place. Well, we've seen over the past week and a half, Lefties manager Matt Acker can be pretty aggressive with his position player subs. Young swings the first pitch, and hits that one in the air to center. Fairly well hit. Daniel Calabrese has room, and he makes the catch. Pretty good swing from Young on a hanging breaking ball. So he's retired. I assume Ethan will stay in the game to play first. It'll bring up Julio Vasquez. He struck out his only at bat in the second. Went down looking on 3 pitches. A left on right matchup. And the first pitch is a fastball on the outside corner. Vasquez, the Toronto native, going to Howard College. He went 2 for 6 in the Falcons series. And the 0-1 is hit foul and out of play on top of the grandstands down the right field line. I see a couple of youngsters now descending the stairs on those grandstands, going after that foul ball. The way it rolls down, as Ridsdale said with the 0-2, and here it is. Breaking ball lined in the right field. Ott coming on. That's going to hang up for him to make the catch. He had Julio playing fairly shallow to begin with. So 2 up, 2 down in the fifth. It brings up Kyle Becker. He flew out to right, his only at bat in the third. First pitch is upstairs, 1-0 the count. Only 3 base runners for the lefties. Base hit from Walls, a hit from Nunez, and Brock Mayer getting hit by a pitch. As that one's popped up. Well, fairly well hit to right, actually. Ott goes back, and he makes the grab in the alleyway. Ball ended up carrying a bit more than I thought it would. So Matthew Rizdale able to answer Colby Schuber's 1-2-3 inning with one of his own. Lefties go down in order in the fifth. We sail along, heading to the top of the sixth. And it looks like Schuber is going to get back to work. We'll be right back. Well, talking about a little history for the area, I'm always pleasantly surprised by some of the geographic and cultural unique things I find in Port Angeles. So there are quite a few well-known people who were born here. Virginia Wood, for one. She was before my time, to say the least. She was born September 30th, 1930 in Port Angeles. She initially turned down deals to act to raise her 4 kids. She eventually hit the big screens in the 1960s. The Destructors, A Man Called Dagger, A Guide for the Married Man. She worked with Frank Sinatra at one point. One of her works there, A Lady in Cement with Sinatra in 1968. Tommy Takayoshi, Noah Bowden, and Marco Sana, 3-4-5 for Edmonton. Showing bunt as Takayoshi pulls back and takes the ball. Well, Schubert has faced the minimum in the fourth and 5th innings. So that one swung on and fouled at the plate. At the moment, recovering nicely after the 2-run homer from Kelly Coral in the 3rd. That's been the difference tonight. That's where we stand, 2-0 Edmonton. The 1-1 is a changeup that's in the dirt. Schubert working at a brisk pace as always. The flag's picking up now, or the wind picking up, going right to left. As that fastball is high, 3-1. Starting to see just a little bit more of the foothills for Olympic National Park. Trying to burst through the low-hanging clouds. The 3-1 swung on and missed to the high fastball. Takayoshi probably went after ball 4. Tommy Takayoshi out of Spanaway, Washington. Rising senior at Fresno State. He goes after a changeup. Taylor out in front of the plate to fire down the first and finish off the strikeout. Schubert up to 4 strikeouts now. Really doesn't have the strikeout pitch going, but getting some weak outs and getting some good help from his defense. As Noah Bowden will dig in. 1 for 2 with a base hit in the first, a strikeout in the 3rd. Saw a web gem play. Before we were able to get on, saw a web gem play earlier from the center fielder Kyle Becker. Vasquez with a nice play at third. A couple of nice plays. Oh, and Alsop flagging one down. By the way, Ethan Young stays in the game to play first in Alsop's stead. That one's fouled in and out of the glove of Chase Taylor. I would have to assume Alsop must have hurt himself making one of those plays back in the 5th. Especially Young coming in to pinch hit, a lefty-on-lefty matchup in the dirt, 1-1. That's not something you would usually see. It's not something that Acker would usually do. The 1-1 in the dirt, 2-1. Schubert's thrown a few good changeups, good effective changeups, some of the left-handed batters in the Edmonton order. 6 hits for the Riverhawks, 2 for the Lefties, with 1 out in the top of the 6th. Schubert out of the windup. That one's lined down the left field line, and it's going to drop just foul. Might have been fouled by about a foot. So Bowden will have to jog back. No extra bases for him as of right now. There's a couple guys up stretching in the Lefties bullpen. Riverhawks bullpen is quiet. The 2-2 from Schubert. Tries another changeup, misses low, 3-2. And you always have to wonder, Schubert now facing the Riverhawks order for the 3rd time. Are they catching on to some of his pitches? A high bounce over the first. Young stays back on it. It's a fair ball over the bag. Bowden wasn't running up the line. He only made it about halfway. He must have just assumed that was going to go foul. So 3 unassisted. Turned into a pretty easy play for Young. Well, for the 3rd straight inning, 2 up, 2 down for Schubert. It brings up Marco Sana. Bounced out to 3rd in the 1st, lined or struck out in the 3rd. One of only 4 punch-outs for Schubert, as he takes a strike on the other half. Schubert kicks and deals the 0-1. That one's lined into right field. Oh, it hangs right up there for Nunez, able to trek back on it. Oh, is it much slower than I realized off the bat of Osana. So 3 straight innings now for Colby facing the minimum hitters. 1, 2, 3, go the Riverhawks in their half of the 6th. And it'll be Isaiah Walls, Trent Jackson, and Roberto Nunez to kick things off in the 6th inning. Lefties trail 2-0. As we head to the bottom of the 6th, it's a new pitcher. A little surprised to see a new pitcher so early. Brendan Lepke will take over on the mound. Well, I guess now that I think about it, Rizdale, it was only his 2nd start of the season, so I guess he's not quite as stretched out as other starting pitchers would be. So it's Lepke's 13th game, 12 of them coming out of the bullpen, 19 and a third innings for him, for the rising junior out of the University of Calgary. Out of Calgary, Alberta. 20 strikeouts. Keep an eye on the walks. 19 walks. That is a lot of walks over 19 innings. Definitely don't want to walk a batter each inning. His last outing came on the 21st, so Friday against the Cowlitz Black Bears. Went 2/3 scoreless, not allowing a hit. So the right-hander now will face Isaiah Walls, Trent Jackson, and Roberto Nunez. Frankly, Lefties hitters, they've got to be thrilled to not see any more of Matthew Ridsdale. So Matthew Ridsdale's line is complete. He went the first 5 innings, allowing just 2 hits, striking out 3, walking none. He did have the 1 hit batter coming to Mayer. Working around 3 men who did reach scoring position. Lepke out the stretch, righty-on-righty matchup as Walls takes a slider inside. Lepke, a lanky 6'2", 205-pounder. Working out the stretch, and that breaking ball catches the inner half. Interesting matchup for a right-handed batter. You have Lepke, who's setting up on the far third base side of the rubber. And he kind of closes himself off, too. The 1-1, swung on and missed by Walls, another breaking ball. So it's another one of those things where if you have a right-handed batter and Walls stands relatively close to the plate, the ball is going to start at you. 2-0 Riverhawks over the Lefties. Here's the 1-2. Swung on and missed. Lepke went towards the outer half of that one after going 3 straight on the inside part. One away, it brings up Trent Jackson. Jackson 0 for 2 in his return to the lineup. Popped out to second and bounced out to third. Comes into play hitting .297 as that breaking ball is on the outside corner. Right on left matchup. Shin splints are no joke. Jackson getting 10 days of rest to recover. The 0-1 is off the end of the bat and hit foul. Yeah, shin splints kept me out of my winter and spring track seasons my sophomore year of college. There's Garrett Holpott going to retrieve the foul ball. Lepke looks in, now he comes set. Everybody straight up for the Riverhawks defense. The 0-2 is chopped foul. over towards the on-deck hitter, Nunez. So Jackson behind 0-2. Lefties looking for some offense. Only 2 hits to start the game. Here's the 0-2. That's down and in. Oh, and I got a piece of Jackson. And he popped up looking back at the home plate umpire. Tougher to hear any kind of extra sound, but both the umpire and Trent reacted right away. So a 1-out base runner for the Lefties. Trent will definitely take that break. Getting hit by a pitch on an 0-2 count. Just barely grazing the pant leg. Nunez, who's 1 for 2 tonight, he takes a breaking ball outside. Jackson, an otherwise very good athlete. I'd be surprised if we see him run. Definitely not running at 100% right now, coming back from the shin splints. In the dirt, 2-0. Good play from Takayoshi behind the plate. Good hitters count for Nunez. Ahead 2-0. Roberto comes into play, 3rd in the West Coast League in hitting at .362. One of his goals is to try and finish at the very top of that list. Here's the 2-0 from Lepke. That one's fouled straight back into the netting. See if Nunez can get another base hit. Try and get Jackson into scoring position. The 2-1, up and in, 3-1. Surprising a bit to Nunez to see that one come so close. Especially everything in this at-bat leading up to that was away. Here's the 3-1. That's on the inside corner, 3-2. All 3 pitches we've seen so far. Schubert, well, especially Schubert and Ridsdale to start. They've done an effective job tonight at locating pitches on the inner half. Here's the 3-2. A high bouncer over to third. Overmars waits on it, fires over to first, not in time. They get the lead man at second. So with 2 away, Jackson retired on the 5-4 putout. Nunez aboard in the fielder's choice. It brings up Chase Taylor. Chase is 0 for 2. So the first pitch is taken downstairs, 1-0 the count. As Lepke gets a new baseball. The Lefties have had 3 different men in scoring position tonight, have not been able to push them across. The offense coming from the Riverhawks and a 2-run homer from Kelly Coral in the 3rd. Pitch from Lepke, way late the fastball is Taylor. Brendan able to record the first 2 outs of the inning. He ended up hitting Jackson on an 0-2 pitch, trying to work around that traffic. The 1-1, that's at the knees, 1-2. So Taylor finds himself behind now. The shadows very much a factor. But Lepke now in the shadows and everything else in the sun. Check swing. The ball goes right through the 5-hole of Takayoshi. Nunez will trot up to second. We'll see how that one is scored. I mean, that went right through the legs of Tommy Takayoshi. 2-2 the count now to Taylor. Well, it goes down as a wild pitch. That's one of those where it could have gone either way. If you ask Takayoshi, I'm sure he'd say he should be able to block that. Especially anticipating that breaking ball. Lepke with a long look, and now he steps off, and time is called. Well, Brendan Lepke and Tommy Takayoshi are not on the same page. Now they're meeting to talk things over in the middle of the mound and home plate. That was a quick conversation. As both guys now come back to their spots. Mayer waits on deck. Nunez up to second. A base hit should cut the lead in half. All three outfielders playing straight up. A long look-in once again for Lepke. Figured they would have just talked about what pitch to throw in that meeting. Now he comes set. Taylor awaits the 2-2. And here it is. Fouled straight back. After all that, they went with a fastball virtually right down the middle. Well, Taylor steps out, and now he'll dig back in, trying to battle. Riverhawks lead the Lefties 2-0, and Lepke comes set. Trying to work a scoreless inning out of the bullpen. The 2-2 again. Breaking ball misses high. So good work from Taylor, working it back to a 3-2 count. And you have a guy who's seen the ball pretty well in Mayer waiting on deck. Taylor, who's been struggling. Second baseman Bowden playing towards the second base bag. The 3-2. A check swing up the first base line. It'll stay fair. Osana will take it to the bag himself. Taylor didn't even bother to run up the line. Frustrated with himself. Couldn't tell from here whether that would have been ball four or not. So the Lefties, for the fourth time tonight, able to get a man in the scoring position, not able to capitalize. As we head to the top of the seventh, it's still 2-0 Riverhawks. Well, as Colby Schuber finishes up his warm-up pitches heading into the seventh, I'm going to take this opportunity to finish up the little history segment. You heard me talk about Virginia Wood. There's also John Elway. Nobody can forget the Hall of Fame quarterback. 1987 NFL MVP, the two-time Super Bowl champion, going out in style. The only man to win the Super Bowl as a player and a general manager. 2004 Pro Football Hall of Fame inductee. And he was born in Port Angeles. It's one of those when you hear about it, you can hardly believe it. You go, really? He was born in a small town north of Olympic National Park. Evan Overmars digs in, and he swings the first pitch and pops it up down the right field line. Young going back on it. Nunez over as well. Oh, and that ball drops. It goes right off the glove of Roberto Nunez. So Evan Overmars aboard on the error. Well, the defense has really been excellent to start the night. So it brings up Jacob Paternak. He's 0 for 2 tonight. I mean, Nunez made the call aggressively, just wasn't able to hang on to it. Those are never easy plays going into that bit of a triangle area behind the bases. First pitch is a curveball in there for a strike. LA born on my birthday, June 28th, of course, back in 1960. That one's off the hands and popped into the overhanging screen. It's a tough word to get out for a second. So 0-2 the count as Schuber gets a new ball. Overmars with a short lead at first. Maybe 2 steps at most. And the 0-2 is popped up out of play to the right side. Opportunity for the kids to get a baseball. So that one hits right on top of one of the bars out there. The Lefties look to turn 2. A lot of room on the right side. Nunez playing towards the second base bag. 0-2 again. It's a breaking ball. Misses outside. Snap throw to first. Not in time as Overmars goes diving back safely. So 1-2 the count now to Paternak. The 1-2, that one's at foul. Look out by, oh, that's something else. It went by the Riverhawks dugout, and I think about half the dugout came squirming out of it to try and avoid the foul ball. Yeah, Edmonton, one of the few teams we've seen up here where the entire team is not standing on the field side of the rails. That 1-2 is a check swing and a called strike 3. Taylor thought about firing down the first once again. It's now the 6th strikeout for Schuber. With one away, it brings up Daniel Calabrese. He's 1 for 2 with a base hit coming back in the 4th. Overmars still with a short lead off of first. First pitch is in the dirt. Schuber actually picking up the pace, even with a man on first. Well, he looks in. His lefty's trailing 2-0. Now Schuber comes set and deals. Check swing, and he did go around according to the home plate umpire. Another good play from Taylor on a pitch in the dirt. Overmars has not stolen a base this season. Well, we'll see. I have fallen victim to the jinx monster on many occasions. A high bounce over the third. Vasquez charges it. He gets on the short hop. He has one play over the first in time. Good, that's a play from Young popping off the bag, making sure Overmars doesn't take the turn from second to third. Julio's really had a good night at the hot corner. Playing some of those bouncers, those tough bouncers, pretty well. That brings up the 9-man Brett Ott. He singled and scored in the third. Bounced out on a hard ground ball to first his last time up in the 5th. Well, you definitely want to go after Ott. You have Coral waiting on deck, who delivered the 2-run homer. First pitch is at the knees for a strike. Good to see Schuber working ahead. Ott trying to turn the lineup over and get the dangerous hitting Kelly Coral to the plate. Fouled at the plate, 0-2. Coral, a late addition to the lineup. The birthday boy and, well, the leading hitter for the Riverhawks, Skylar Chang, was a late scratch, dealing with some lingering injuries. Here's the 0-2 with 2 outs. High fastball. Ott did not go after it. So 1-2 the count. The breeze has been very calm at Civic Field for the better part of an inning and a half. Schuber comes set again. Overmars inches off of second. Down and in the dirt, 2-2, blocked by Taylor. So Schuber tried a high fastball, then he tried a breaking ball. Well, you don't want to make anything too good. You also don't want to walk Coral to the plate. Here's the 2-2. A high bounce to the first, it'll go foul. Well, so we'll have to try that again. Back to second goes Overmars. Really turning into another nice evening. We've been blessed with, well, really good weather for the most part this summer. The 2-2 again. That one's ripped into right field. Dowdy on the run, and he's able to hang with it to put it away. Brett Ott able to give that one a ride. Colby Schuber working through 7 innings, 2-run baseball. Definitely another great inning, a great outing overall from Schuber, keeping the lefties in it. As they trail 2-0, we stretch at Civic Field. So Brendan Lepke finishing up his warm-up pitches as we get set for the bottom of the 7th. Lepke working his second inning out of the bullpen in relief for Matthew Ridsdale, who stands in line for the win. Brock Mayer, Chance Dowdy, and Ethan Young, the scheduled hitters, 5, 6, 7. Well, let's see. The Lefties only had a combined 7 hits their previous 2 games. They sit at 2 right now. Really haven't hit much of anything hard. Lefties have been fortunate having some Riverhawks guys hit balls right to them and having some pretty good defense of their own. First pitch is a breaking ball missing upstairs. Mayer was hit by a pitch in the 2nd. Sacrifice bunt in the 4th. He was really trying to bunt for a hit. If we were to really examine that one. 1-0 is on the outside corner, 1-1. Looked like Mayer might have been taking all the way. So as of right now, with this being a 2-run game, we enter an area where both teams have struggled this summer. Lefties come in to play 5-14 in games decided by 1 or 2 runs. Lepke out of the stretch. That one's bounced over towards the Riverhawks dugout. That one much slower than the bullet they saw last inning. Edmonton comes in 3-13 in games decided by 1 or 2 runs. So Brendan comes set. Here's the 1-2. That one's ripped in the left field for a hit over the outstretched glove of Coral. Just the 3rd hit of the night for the Lefties, but it's a leadoff base runner. It brings the tying run to the plate in Chance Dowdy.
Your right fielder, Chance Dowdy.
And there is somebody tossing down there in the Riverhawks bullpen. No action for the Lefties. So reasonable to think that Schubert might come back out for the 8th. Dowdy's 0 for 2. He shows bunt. He pulls back and takes low. That's interesting to see. Well, the Lefties really have struggled they've struggled offensively all the way around tonight. Not hitting many balls hard. Dowdy shows bunt again. The 1-0, he pulls it back. Ooh, a called strike at the knees. Dowdy not a fan. I mean, you have the 3rd baseman, Evan Overmars, playing practically right on top of the hitter as Lepke checks on Mayer at first. I mean, the amount of high choppers the Lefties have hit towards 3rd, if Dowdy hits a typical one like that, it'll probably go right over Overmars' head. He shows bunt again. Oh, he tried to pull it back, but it glances off the bat and goes foul. Chan's not happy with himself. Nobody would be. That's one of those where you know it's inside, but it's riding it in your hands, and you just can't get it out of the way. So now he's behind 1-2. Everybody moves back for the Riverhawks. Dowdy's going to swing away. Oh, where'd that one hit? Oh, the home plate umpire's calling Dowdy back. Hey, what happened here? Did he just call Chance out? That looked like a foul ball. Why would he be called out? And Chance was swinging away. So I guess the umpire said it hit the bat. The only thing I could possibly think of as Mayer's heading back to first, the only thing I can think of is Dowdy must have had a foot or part of his foot outside of the batter's box, and then making contact with the bat would mean the automatic out. So I guess that goes down as a strikeout. And again, I'm just trying to infer the situation as Ethan Young will hit. He takes a first pitch fastball outside. It looked like just for a moment it was going to be a major break for the Lefties. It looks like Chance thought the ball hit him in the hand, too. That one's on the inside corner, 1-1. Young came in the 5th inning to pinch hit for Owen Alsop. He stayed in to play first. Here's the 1-1. That one's lifted foul into the screen, 1-2. Mayer not likely to run, especially with the Lefties trailing by 2. A long looking again from Lepke. Now he comes set. The 1-2 with 1 out. That's up and away, 2-2. Julio Vasquez waits on deck. Lefty really slowing things down in the bottom of the 7th. The 2-2 outside. Good at bat from Young to work it back full. Well, Lefty has gone with a couple breaking balls trying to run him back to the outer half. See if he goes with a heater right now. The 3-2, there goes Mayer, and it's taken outside. Good at bat from Ethan. So it puts men on first and second with one out.
Up to bat, number 24, your third baseman, Julio.
Yeah, not what you want if you're a Riverhawks fan. Brendan Lepke able to work ahead 1-2 and losing Young. So with that said, we're going to have a meeting on the mound. Julio Vasquez will be the hitter. We have not seen a signal to the bullpen yet. The man continues to loosen up in the Edmonton pen. Right now it's just the coach out there and Takayoshi from behind the plate out there as well. Well, as the meeting concludes. Looks like that was the pitching coach Ray Brown who was out there. Initially a draft pick to as a pitcher by the Kansas City Royals back in the day. So Vasquez will settle back in, or maybe not. Takayoshi now was standing up and kind of walking aimlessly around the plate. Now he's back at his spot. So Mayer at second and Young at first. And Lepke comes set. Fourth time the Lefties have had a man in scoring position tonight. First pitch is a little high. Not quite the same bite on that breaking ball from Lepke. The lights are on at Civic Field, and not a breeze to be found at the moment. The flags are quiet. The 1-0. Fouled straight back. Hopefully that foul ball got caught in the screen a little bit, and then it came straight down right next to the wood plank. Some Let's Go Lefties chants starting to form in the crowd. Brendan Lepke trying to work out of another jam. The 1-1 to Vasquez incoming. Big swing and a miss from Julio. He got a fastball to hit right there. He came up empty. Vasquez, a strong young man. Outfield for Edmonton, not playing very deep. Some good energy from the kids in the crowd. The 1-2 with one out. That's down and away 2-2. Lepke playing a little extra on that fastball. The foothills of Olympic National Park still trying to burst free of that cloud cover. Starting to come out, turning into a really nice evening as the sun starts to set. The 2-2. Big swing and a miss. A good breaking ball from Brendan. He had Vasquez way out in front. The second strikeout, or the third strikeout, beg your pardon, coming out of the bullpen. And that brings up Kyle Becker. Lefties trying to come up with something. The first pitch is taken at the knees for a called strike. Becker, while he had a good series up in Kelowna, has struggled in a Lefties uniform. Well, trying to cut the lead in half now. You have Mayer inching off of second. Here's the 0-1 to Kyle. That one's fouled to the left side. Becker's average up to .214 coming into play. You have Walls waiting on deck, but Becker finds himself in an 0-2 hold. Well, the Let's Go Lefties now, very noticeable from here. All those boys and girls club members in the house tonight. The 0-2 with two outs. Bounced foul over the first. I mean, if anybody was able to see the sheer amount of youngsters running onto the field with the Lefties players, it was a lot of them. Takes me back to my summer camp days dealing with 150 kids at times. Good days. High effort days. Lepke comes set. Becker awaits the 0-2. Lefties trailing 2-0. That one's back towards the middle. Over his boat, and he backhands and he flips the short way to second to retire Young. Thought for just a moment Becker would be able to sneak that one through. The Lefties leave 2 as we head to the top of the 8th inning. Riverhawks holding on to a 2-0 lead. Well, we continue to sail along in this Tuesday night baseball game. Wes Penninger will take over on the mound for the Lefties as we head to the top of the 8th in relief of Colby Schuber. Penninger, the catcher converted pitcher over the course of the summer, rising junior at Utah Valley University. His 14th game out of the bullpen, 19 2/3 innings for him, 21 strikeouts, 17 walks. His last outing came on Friday at Kelowna, really good. 3 innings for him. 2 hits, 3 walks, no runs allowed. Well, they'll face the 1-2-3 hitters for Edmonton. Kelly Coral, who is the offense tonight, 1 for 3 with a 2-run homer in the 3rd. Penninger out of the windup, and he deals a fastball outside. Well, that's almost a little slower in his motion that time than I'm used to seeing. Kind of odd. And this one looks a little more normal. Outside again, 2-0. So the end of the line for Colby Schuber tonight. He went the first 7 innings. Only the 2 runs on the 2-run shot from Coral. 6 strikeouts as that one ends up clanking off of Coral. So he'll take his base via hit by pitch. 6 hits scattered from Schuber. No walks. That's the big one. He really was good tonight, and he got some help from some good defense. I know he had the one error on Nunez earlier, but the Lefties really have been good defensively tonight. Really sharp. Johnny McGill, who's 0 for 3, digs in. Penninger now out of the stretch. First pitch swinging, and that's line foul into the screen. McGill late on a heater from West. West out of Flower Mound, Texas. Certainly relieved to be up here all summer. All the heat that's been going around the South. Big rip and a miss. McGill behind 0-2. And now he steps out. He's going to go fix his batting gloves. Yeah, when I swing and miss at pitches too, back in my days playing, I also like to fix my batting gloves. Penninger comes set. The Lefties look to turn 2. Here's the 0-2. Up and in. Nearly got a piece of McGill after Coral reached via hit by pitch to start the inning. Riverhawks lead the Lefties 2-0. Right on left the matchup. Penninger now set, looking to roll a double play. Here's the 1-2, just outside. Little extra tail on the fastball from Penninger. Well, the shadows now completely covering the infield, that is. That's no longer a factor for the hitters. The 2-2, there goes the runner. Pitch swung on the miss, throw down by Taylor on one hop, and it gets through walls, backed up nicely by Nunez. So Cora able to steal second. McGill goes down swinging.
Up to bat,
So it brings up Tommy Takayoshi. He's 2 for 3 tonight. Struck out his last at bat in the 6th. An infield single back in the 1st. Hasn't particularly hit the ball super hard. Well, the home plate umpire is out in front of the plate taking notes of something. Takayoshi is up there to hit for himself, so it's not a pinch hitter. They do take a lot of notes. More notes than I'm used to seeing. I guess they're a studious bunch back there. Short lead off a second from Coral, and the first pitch misses inside to the lefty Takayoshi. Riverhawks trying to add on as they lead 2-0. Penninger not really wanting that to happen. On the inside corner, 1-1. The left fielder Mayer playing on the shallow side. Well, really, all 3 outfielders playing relatively shallow. The 1-1 with 1 away. Swing and a miss of that one. Tie Takayoshi up with a fastball in the inner half. Well, the Let's Go Lefties chants have really continued for the better part of a whole inning. Good showing from all the kids in the ballpark. I love that energy. The 1-2. There goes the runner again. Pitch swung on a miss. Thrown on the third. Is on a hop and off the glove of Vasquez. So second stolen base of the inning for Kelly Coral. Back-to-back strikeouts for Penninger. Brings up the cleanup man, Noah Bowden. Bowden, the designated hitter tonight. He singled back in the first. 1 for 3 overall. Well, now if you're Penninger and Taylor, you better be careful not to bounce a pitch. Especially the aggressive base running from Coral. He looms at third. First pitch, check swing. Doesn't matter, called the strike from Bowden. He went around anyway on that one. You have Marco Sana waiting on deck. Nunez playing a couple steps in the outfield grass as he's done all year long with left-handed batters. Penninger out of the stretch. Here's his 0-1. Another swing and a miss. 0-2 the count. As Penninger snaps the throw back from Taylor. Trying to pick up his 3rd consecutive strikeout and keep it at a 2-0 game. Both teams coming in 12 and 30. Trying to leapfrog one another in the standings. The 0-2. Over the first. Young stays down on the short hop. He wins the race to the bag. Really good first base play all the way around. Young able to keep a run off the board with a nice play over there. Wes Penninger hit a batter to lead off the inning. Able to work around the jam, picking up a couple strikeouts. The Lefties only 6 outs to play with as they trail 2-0 against the Riverhawks. We'll be right back. So the top of the order coming up for lefties as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. A new pitcher for Edmonton, Riley Barrett, will take over on the mound. Barrett, a redshirt freshman out of Arizona State University. 182 ERA for him over 44 in the 3rd innings. That'll be a pinch hitter coming up for the lefties in the place of Isaiah Walls. Oh, beg your pardon, guys. That is Walls. Wearing a different jersey number than I'm used to seeing. I thought it looked like him. Yeah, so it is Walls going to hit for himself. He's 1 for 3 tonight with a single back in the 1st. Lefties trailing 2-0. This is the part of the order you definitely want up. He swings and misses at a high fastball to start. Walls has struck out his previous 2 at-bats. The Let's Go Lefties chants have returned. That's a good crowd of kids. They have had fantastic energy. Another swing and a miss at a high fastball. Isaiah steps out, trying to gather himself. Well, now he digs back in. Here's the 0-2. That one's right off the arm of Isaiah. A major break right there. Once again, on an 0-2 pitch, a lefty batter has been plunked tonight. Well, it's going to bring up a pinch hitter for the lefties. Looks like that's Aiden Arriaga who's going to hit in Trent Jackson's spot.
Number 6, College of the Desert, Aiden Arriaga.
Arriaga out of the College of the Desert in Palm Desert. Upstairs 1-0. He's 4 for 20 in the lefties uniform. 1 double, no RBIs. As Arriaga steps out. No action in either bullpen right now. The 1-0, Arriaga checks a swing. He goes around on a high fastball. So Arriaga, he'll stay in the game as the designated hitter. That's where Jackson started tonight. Trent was hit by a pitch his last time up. Looks like a pitch clock violation has been called. That's going to be called against Aiden. Aiden looks kind of confused over that one. So 1-2 the count. Well, I guess he took too long to get in the box. So he's behind 1-2, and that pitch misses high. The lefties trail 2-0 as the chants continue. As Aiden steps out, and now will dig back in. A long look in this time. Here's the 2-2. That one's back towards the middle. The shortstop core is going to play on the hop. Walls wings the race to the second base bag, and Arriaga is safe at first. Everybody's safe all the way around for the lefties. A mistake from Coral. Looked like he had a chance to go and make that play in the air. Looks like he was trying to pick up a double play. Walls, with all that speed, won the race. So an infield hit for Aiden. Probably one of the softest hits he'll have in the rest of his career. So now first and second, no outs for the lefties. It brings up Nunez. This is what you want if you're a lefty. Nunez shows bunt. It's up the third base line. The third baseman Overmars goes to get it, and he fires in time to first. Nunez clapping his hands going up the bag. A successful sacrifice bunt from the league's third leading hitter. Walls up to third, and Arriaga to second. That's good to see from Nunez. No ego from him, not upset, at least not seeming to be upset at all, being told to show bunt. So now it's Chase Taylor. The Riverhawks playing the infield back, second and third. The first pitch is popped up. Left side, Overmars over in foul territory, and that's out of play. Riley Barrett continues to work out the stretch. He hit walls on an 0-2 pitch. Then you had the infielder from Arriaga on a mistake at shortstop. 0-1 the count. And here it is. Taylor indecisive out in front of a breaking ball. Really has not looked comfortable all night. Well, they got to get something in the play, especially with Edmonton conceding a run. Couple shakes from Barrett on the mound. And now he comes set. Here's the 0-2. Upstairs 1-2. A base hit will likely tie it. You have good speed all the way around. Mayer waits on deck. Looks like Corey Jarrell is in the hole right now. He has a helmet and a bat. The 1-2 pitch. Outside 2-2 to chase. High pressure pitches. 1 out in the 8th inning. Lefties trail 2-0. Barrett another long look in. Now he's ready. Taylor awaits the 2-2, and here it is. Swung on and missed at a breaking ball. The struggles for Chase continue, at least for now. He walks off in frustration. So Barrett 1 out away from getting out of it, and it brings up Brock Mayer. He's had a good day all the way around. Hit by a pitch in the 2nd. He singled his last time up in the 7th. So he's 1 for 1. Mayer has seen the ball quite well. Corey Jarrell waits on deck, hitting in Chance's spot. That's a curveball taken on the outside corner. As Mayer steps out, he'll dig back in. The lefties have had their chance since they've been in scoring position, have not been able to pick up that big hit. They only have 4 as we stand with 2 outs in the 8th. The 0-1 from Barrett. Back towards the middle, gets past Barrett. Bowden comes to charge. He throws on the run to first in time to retire Brock. So the lefties once again knocking on the door in the 8th inning with a couple base runners. Not able to push anything across. Lefties still trail 2-0 as we head to the top of the 9th. Well, as we go to the top of the 9th, Cole Acker will take over, trying to keep it at a 2-0 game as the lefties trail the Edmonton Riverhawks. Acker has lowered his ERA below 5, down to 4.97. It was really good over a stretch of starts spanning a week. He got roughed up a little bit a couple days ago at Kelowna, surrendering a couple runs on 2 hits and an inning and a third. First pitch to Marco Sana is at the knees for a strike. Acker, the deceptive three-quarter sidewinding right-handed pitcher. Soft bounce over the short. Walls charges. It gets on a big hop. Plenty of time to get Osana, who does not run well. It'll bring up the sixth-man, Evan Overmars. Well, Chance Dowdy remains in the game in right field, even though Corey Jarrell last inning had a bat in his hands ready to hit for him. Overmars reached on an error by Nunez his last time up. 0 for 3. That one's ripped through the middle for a base hit. Evan going after the first pitch on that one. So a one-out base runner for Edmonton. That being their 7th hit of the night. I saw Cole shortly after he arrived at the ballpark. I was heading onto the field to watch batting practice. Well, I had to go to the bathroom first, and I saw Cole with a good-sized plate of nachos. He was a very happy man eating his nachos. The first pitch is popped up foul. Just the most innocent smile of a young man. These good people. Very good people. Now he's trying to roll a double play ball with 1 out in the 9th. The incoming freshman to Mount Hood Community College. That's at the knees, 0-2. That's a really good job right there. Changing the eye level. Starting up in the zone, and then the very bottom of the strike zone. Acker comes set. Slide step out the stretch, way outside with a curveball. Acker's 15th game of the season, 25 in the 3rd innings. 12 strikeouts, 11 walks. That one's on the ground to second. This could be 2. Nunez up with it. He flips this. Ooh! A short hop that Walls is able to pick up out of the dirt. Wow, Nunez went with a backhanded flip attempt, trying to hurry it in turn 2. Really good play from Isaiah to still get the lead runner. That had disaster written all over it when I saw how low that throw was. So Jacob Paternak safe on the fielder's choice. It'll bring up the 8th man, Daniel Calabrese. He takes a first pitch curveball outside. 2-0 Riverhawks leading the Lefties. Another curveball missing outside. Acker doesn't quite have the same feel for that breaking pitch. Much tougher to get a chase early in the count. Paternak a short lead off of first. Acker misses outside with a fastball. See if Calabrese gets a green light. Ahead 3-0. Well, now the foothills of Olympic National Park in really good view. As that is a called strike 3-1. So the clouds have vacated just enough so we can get our view back. Another picturesque image as we wind down the summer season. The 3-1 is lifted foul and out of play. 3-2 the count. Paternak will be off and running. Edmonton leads Port Angeles 2-0. Acker coming out of the bullpen trying to keep it where it is. The 3-2, there goes the runner. On the outside corner for a called strike 3. Calabrese tossed his bat aside. Not the case. He has a few extra words for the home plate umpire walking back to the dugout. No runs, 1 hit, and a man left for Edmonton. So we head to the bottom of the 9th. Chance Dowdy, Ethan Young, and Julio Vasquez's spots when we return. The last chance for the Lefties in the bottom of the ninth inning. They trailed 2-0. A two-run homer in the third from Kelly Coral, still standing up as the only real offense tonight. Corey Gerald will hit in the sixth spot for Chance Dowdy. He had a bat in his hands during the Lefties rally in the eighth. Did not come up. Chance went back out to play right, so now Corey's going to enter the game. He struggled in his short period of time with the Lefties, 2 for 16 with an RBI and no extra base hits. He was 0 for 4 in the Kelowna series. Riley Barrett working his second inning. Gerald shows bunt and he bunts it foul up the third base line. Only 4 hits for the Lefties as we stand. Really just haven't squared much of anything up. They have not recorded an extra base hit tonight. Barrett trying to pick up a 2-inning save. Here's the 0-1. That's on the inside corner, 0-2. Edmonton trying to win back-to-back games after defeating the Cowlitz Black Bears 6-0. Gerald behind 0-2, trying to bring the tying run to the plate. Barrett comes set, and he deals out of the stretch. Way high, 1-2. The flags have been quiet, really, for the entire second half of the game. Gerald awaits the 1-2, and here it is. Hits softly, flagged down by the pitcher, Barrett. He tosses softly the first, 1 out. Kind of beat that one straight into the ground as it trickled out to the pitcher's spot. With 1 away, it brings up Ethan Young.
First baseman, Ethan Young.
Young walked his last appearance in the 7th. Well, he needs to get on base to bring the tying run up, hitting 148 this summer. Everybody straight up for Edmonton. The first pitch is hit foul at home plate. Off the leg of Young. Ollie, where's that shin guard along his front leg? I don't think he hit it off the shin guard. Looks like he hit it above the shin guard. Those are never fun. Now the home plate umpire is, he's still out talking to the pitcher, Barrett. Seems like Young is ready to go. He's kind of looking at the mound like, all right, guys, let's get this show on the road. I'm good. I'm from New Jersey. We mean business. Ethan and I always are able to vibe once in a while about being the Jersey boys. Not the typical Jersey boys. Ethan does not like the beach. Not a beach guy. Well, everybody's ready to go now. 0-1 the count, 1 away to Young. So he digs back in. Lefties trail 2-0. Vasquez waits on deck. And that one's popped up. Over to the third baseman, Overmars, in fair territory, and he makes the catch. Well, Barrett went back inside, and Young was not able to get good wood on it.
Up to bat.
Lefties down to their final out. It's Julio Vasquez.
Julio Vasquez.
He struck out twice tonight, 0 for 3 overall. So Barrett now trying to secure a second consecutive win for Edmonton. First pitch curveball taken outside. That pitch has been a strike for the better part of the evening. It's Becker who waits on deck. The 1-0. That's outside 2-0. Riley Barrett trying back-to-back breaking balls to Julio. The third baseman Overmars playing towards the line. Just kind of playing Julio to pull. A 2-0. Might have broken his bat up the third base line, and that one's called just foul. It was bobbleable by Evan Overmars. Julio would have been safe. Well, he's going to need a new piece of wood. Close to being a break for the Lefties, getting a base runner. Well, not maybe 5 seconds after I mentioned Overmars playing on the line, he gets one hit to him. So Vasquez with a new bat will dig back in. A 2-1 count, 2-0 Edmonton. Lefties trying to avoid losing their 4th consecutive game. After taking 2 of 3 from Edmonton at home, as Barrett steps off, he wants to see the signs again. They're getting swept up north in Kelowna. The 2-1 from Barrett. That one's ripped in the left field, but right at Johnny McGill, who barely had to move a muscle. The Lefties go down 1-2-3 in the 9th, and they lose 2-0. The difference maker, a Kelly Coral 2-run homer in the 3rd inning. Lefties bats continue to struggle. Only 4 hits tonight. Coming off only getting a combined 7 hits the 2 games in Kelowna before this one. Matthew Ridsdale secures the win on the mound. Colby Schubert, despite 7 really good innings, is saddled with a loss. And for the moment, the Edmonton Riverhawks take a 1-game lead over the Lefties in the Northern Division standings. Improving to 13-30, the Lefties drop to 12-31. Well, that's it for us tonight, guys. We thank you again for your patience with some of the technology issues earlier in the ballgame. I'm Evan Schmeiser. We'll be back here tomorrow night, 6:35 on the West Coast League app and the Peninsula Public Access Station. So long, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your evening. It's a pleasure as always.